Alright, so a lot of us have created our New Year's resolution goals, but I think we haven't created a structured goals. A structured goal that focuses on these three things: mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the best advices to change your life on these three aspects of your life: mentally, physically, and spiritually. I guarantee you, if you do these things that I'm gonna tell you in this video, you're gonna see the version of yourself that you have never seen before, and yes, a better one. So let's start from growing mentally. So in order to grow mentally as a person, as it is obvious, you need to work out your brain, and most importantly, you need to build your mental toughness. So the tips that I'm gonna give you now are gonna be focusing on building your mental toughness. 1. Stop being sensitive to your emotions. This has to be your number one New Year's resolution goal. Not being sensitive to your emotions, because if you see it, emotions come and go and come and go. They are not a reflection of your true state of mind at that moment. So being mentally tough is all about that. You're not affected, but it doesn't mean you have no emotions. But it just means you won't allow your emotions to affect you. You won't allow your emotions to make you do things that you don't have to do. You are not controlled by your emotions. So let's say you have some stuff to do. You have to do something, you have to work on your project, or you have to study, but you're not feeling it. Like, you're not feeling like working. That is emotion. You're not feeling like working, maybe because someone upset you, things are not going right, or you're just feeling tired. Emotion. That is emotion. But if you're emotionally sensitive, what's gonna happen is you're gonna hear this voice, you're gonna follow this path, and eventually you're gonna fail. But what if you just stop for a moment and reflect on your emotions? Why not ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling tired? Why is it that I don't want to work on this thing? And then you're gonna know. It's not just because you're really tired, but your mind way of seeking comfort. You see, now you're using your logic instead of following emotions and run by your emotions. So in order to grow mentally this year, you have to stop being sensitive to your emotions. You gotta have that emotional control. But we haven't done. One more thing to do to grow mentally is to stop feeling sorry for yourself. Yes, I know, things might be a little bit hard, but whenever you're working on something that is like really hard, whenever you're feeling tired, or like you're working on something that makes you feel that way, don't be like, I'm going through hard times. No one has ever experienced what I'm going through right now. I deserve some reward. Come on, like, if you really want to grow mentally, stop that self-pityness that you have. But here, I'm not telling you to not acknowledge your hard work and like to not feel your emotions, but just to decrease your self-pityness. This is from a personal experience, alright? Like, let me tell you, I'm getting prepared for a bodybuilding contest right now, and I'm dieting, and I'm also doing this video, so I'm creating content. I have to put in the hard work. Like, it is really hard to balance this too. But whenever I feel sorry to myself, whenever I say, I'm hungry, no one is going through my pain, no one is dieting for a bodybuilding show and creating content this match. Like, whenever I say this, whenever I feel sorry to myself, I start binge eating, not shooting as much content, and I just give myself being lazy. Why? Because I'm feeling sorry for myself. Because I'm dwelling on my misfortunes, I tend to reward myself. I tend to like want to reward myself. And what is the reward? Binge eating, being lazy, or maybe completely not doing anything meaningful. So the solution that I've gotten that really worked for me is like to really work hard, like as much as possible, as much as I can, and just not feel sorry for myself. Like, no matter what, like no matter how hard I work, I don't feel sorry for myself. And also, when I reward myself, I do it like moderately. Maybe after I work like the whole week, after I diet for the whole week, maybe I might take like one day for a cheat meal, or just to take a rest, but I will do it really moderately. Alright, so I've given you like really two best tips to grow mentally as a person, to build your mental toughness, especially from my personal experience. And now let's get into the process of growing physically. Number 1, work out as hard as possible, but smart. So in my experience of training for the past 5 years and trying a lot of training protocols, one of the best training protocol that is changing my body right now is a minimalist training, but training to failure. Every single exercise, every single set. So if you're not familiar with working out, or you're just working out for your health, training to failure means training to the point where you can no longer perform that exercise. It's like to the point where you tap out. So if you really want to change your body, if you really want to change that physicality that you have, I encourage you to train to failure. Every single set. Start working till your muscles are really fatigued. But there are some downsides for this style of training, and one of the downsides is the intensity. Like, the intensity is really hard. You're pushing yourself till failure every single exercise, every single set. So that's why I say to follow the minimalist approach. 3 to 4 exercises maximum. 3 to 4 exercises maximum, and just give your best. And then the second one, never underestimate the power of food. So as I said before, I'm getting prepared for a bodybuilding contest right now, and what I've realized from dieting is that a lot of times I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling lethargic, I'm not feeling like myself, like my body's like showing it, I'm feeling achy all the time. It's all because I'm not getting the nutrients that my body needs. So my advice to you, if you're trying to build muscle, like really eat. Just eat more. Forget about being shredded, forget about being lean, just focus on eating more. Or maybe just on your maintenance calories. So that's it, to grow physically this year. Work as hard as you can and then focus on your nutrition to nurture your body. Alright, so now let's go to the spiritual part of growing in 2023. I'm gonna give you 2 of my best advices, like nothing fancy. So I believe that like if you work on yourself mentally, to control your emotions and on your mental health and also your physicality, you also need to work on your spiritual well-being. Here I'm not talking about any religion or just forcing you to get into a religion, but just 2 things to nurture your soul. 1, every day practice meditation to disidentify yourself from your thoughts. So like don't do fancy stuff like fancy type of meditation like doing yoga and meditation at the same time, especially if you're a beginner. Like you'll get there if you want to be advanced in this, but just meditate to learn to detach yourself from your thoughts. Let me tell you, if you can detach yourself from your thoughts, 99.9% of your problems are just gone. So sit down comfortably, just focus on your breathing, breathe in, breathe out, and then whenever you start focusing on other things, you start thinking, your mind starts wandering, just take your focus back on your breathing. Again, whenever you start thinking, focus back on your breathing and just realize one thing. You are not your thoughts. And whenever you're meditating and just like a thought just comes to appear, say to yourself one thing: I am not my thoughts. My thoughts are not me. So you can just observe them. You can observe your thoughts as like you're watching a TV. Never entertain them, never participate in them. Simply observe. And the second thing to do to grow spiritually is prayer. Here, I'm not trying to force you, to follow some religion or I'm not preaching about anything, but just realize that there is a higher power. You know what I do like when I'm going through a very hard time in my life? Before I go to bed, I just pray. I just ask for guidance, and then I just trust the process. So get closer to your creator, just have that compassion towards other people, and most importantly, know that your higher power is gonna protect you. Alright, so this is it to grow mentally, physically, and spiritually this year. I hope you found this video helpful and knowledgeable and you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you watching it. Thanks for watching. Ciao.